Good afternoon. My name is David Greer, and I am sitting at the St. Paul UCC Church in Trauger. And I'm sitting here with Pastor
Frank Podolinski.
Frank Podolinski. Now, you're not seeing double. I know we're two men of a certain age with white beards and white hair, but we are two separate guys. We're not twins or anything like that. So, tell me, Brother Frank, how long have you been here at the church?
I've been here since middle of December of 2021.
So you're a newbie.
Yes, I am.
And how are things going?
Excellent, very nice. Such a welcoming congregation and very friendly, and we're really working well together. And it's exciting to be here and to meet people and to get to know the worshipers and the parishioners throughout and the people in the community as well, and the other churches too. And
it's a beautiful church up here on the hill. The scenery is wonderful. The view is terrific, and I'm sure they have a good man and their new pastor. And now you were telling me before that you have a Bible school coming up.
Yes, we have Vacation Bible School. It is June the 20th through the 24th in the evening, 6 o'clock to 8:30. It's called Food Truck Party. So it sounds like a good thing. I think most congregations like to eat, and we're able to share how God feeds us and our spirits with this Bible school. So anywhere from preschool, kindergarten, up and through 5th grade, 6th grade.
Now, just to be clear, the kids aren't running the food trucks.
No.
Or would it be all peanut butter and jelly?
Yeah,
no,
that's right.
That'd be right. Now, you were telling me also that before we began that this church is full of some rich history. Do you know anything about it? I know you're new, but I'm sure you're learning a little bit more every day.
I am, yeah. Well, back 1782, really part of the German Reformed tradition that came through. 1957 is when the United Church of Christ formed from different Congregationalists and Evangelical and Reformed. So this congregation shared in ministry, really actually the use of the buildings with the Lutherans and different churches. So yeah, it's been here for a long time, and they continue strong in doing ministry.
That's tremendous to have that much history. My church is probably one of the newer ones in the area. We were just founded in like the 1930s. So what was the year? Do you know? Was it the 1800s or before that?
1792.
1792.
And I mean, a lot of things different. But originally, this building didn't have a social hall. Later on,
please, this building didn't have a bathroom in 1792.
They did a lot of revamping and dug out the underneath of the church to put a place for Sunday school to happen at that point and fellowship activities and things. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Outhouse city.
Outhouse, yes. The spirit wasn't the only thing moving back then. Now, they do have a very interesting cemetery behind us. I don't know if you, if nothing else, just to walk around. And I've done this many times when I've needed to pray or just needed to clear my mind. Just walked around your cemetery and looked at all the old tombstones. But I understand you share that cemetery with the church across the street.
Yes, directly beside the church building is the Lutheran cemetery, and then ours is sort of down over the hill a little bit. And then there are a number of cemeteries around, Methodist and then the Catholic cemetery. But yes, we do maintain and care for those. In fact, we just had a big branch that fell from the storm that came through just last night, and we had to do some cleanup and make sure no stones were destroyed or can be set back up again. But yes,
some of them are mighty old.
Oh,
very old stones. So you're from around here originally?
Yes, I grew up in Jeanette, and I live in Greensburg. My wife Alice and our 3 children. Jacob is 24, Abby is 21, and Benjamin is 16 years old. So I grew up in Jeanette and had my previous call before coming here was at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in West Point of Greensburg, and then my first call was in New Springfield, Ohio, for 6 years. Yeah.
Are your kids still around here, or have they moved on?
They're all around. Yeah, they're still around the area. One's just graduated from college and is working in the field of a recording studio and sound reinforcement. Our middle daughter is still at community college, deciding what she wants to do with her life.
Well,
And then Ben is a junior in high school.
it's tough. You ask a kid at 17, 18 years old what they want to do for the next 50 years. That's a hard question to ask. I didn't know. Did you know you were going to be a pastor when you were a kid?
I did not. No, it
Yeah.
was a long. I had different things when I was in confirmation class that I would, I think I grew a lot in my spirit with my pastor, asking a lot of questions, and I could feel that at that young age. But I did go some different directions and things.
I said this before in one of the interviews that people around me knew I was going to be a pastor. I just didn't know, or I didn't want to accept I wanted to be a pastor.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like a lame thing to do.
That's the way the
Yeah.
Spirit works, huh? Yes.
God will change their heart. People are always afraid that God's going to make them do something they don't want to do
Mm-hmm.
or go somewhere. No, God will change your heart, and you'll have a love for that vocation or those people or that nation, wherever God has you. As long as you're in God's will and seeking His will, you will be just fine. Now, you weren't here during being you're only here 6 months, you weren't here during the pandemic and the shutdowns and all. So I usually ask people how they're doing, but how are you doing? Do you have any indication if the church is, I assume the church is open and running at full speed at this point?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It certainly is. I think back in 2020, for many places, this congregation also had to, think about, they didn't really do things online at that point with Facebook or anything, but they did have a drop in attendance. But now, since we've come back to worship together, we've had an increase in attendance. I think people feel more comfortable, but we're still sensitive to the folks that need to not be out and around. So maybe perhaps with our Facebook presence again and our development of social media, we could reach out to those who aren't able to come. But we encourage them to come. Yeah.
Well, let's say they do come. Where would they go to? What's the address?
113 Dutch Hill Road in Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
And what are your service times?
Our service time currently is 10:30 a.m. and then at June 5th through the summer until Labor Day, it's 9:30 a.m. for worship.
That's good.
So yeah.
That's good. People can get on with their picnics and their soccer games, come
Absolutely,
to church. That's
yeah.
tremendous.
Yeah.
And you were telling me that you had some children coming.
We do. It's
Yes.
such a joy. And I think that's the excitement especially for a Vacation Bible School this year. And we have children's church that happens midway through. I have a children's sermon, and then the children go down with some adult leaders to have children's church, and then rejoin us back before the end of the service and closes. And some youth that are in youth activities that we'll look to pursuing in the future more. And so we do. We have a lot of fun. And most churches like to eat, and this one does. It's no exception. It's no exception. And we love to gather because food equals love, and it brings people together, and it's really cool.
That's how you get to heaven. You bring a covered dish.
Yeah.
That's how you get in.
That's true.
So we're closing in on about 8 minutes now.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to say? Any parting words?
Yeah, I think that what a great thing for any person who's maybe in the community who doesn't go to a church right now, or just thinking about the wonderful ministries of churches that we have in this Pleasant Unity area, is actually really God's Spirit working to make Christ's love known. And so if you don't have a place to worship, know wherever you are in your journey in life, you're welcome here, or any place in the community where you feel called to go. You're always welcome. This congregation does, being a smaller congregation, it has a heart of people who really love and are devoted to serving God. So those are the joys that I experience here.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. I think I've taken enough of it. God bless you. God bless you out there.
God bless you.
And
Thank you.
we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thanks, David.
Not at all. Happy to be here.